Hey, it's Jeff Sauer here, representing the Jumpstart podcast. And I just got done interviewing one of my favorite interviews in the history of the Jumpstart podcast, and that is Geraldine DeRuiter. And it was really fun to get to know Geraldine, to understand her background, to learn more about her, and to interview her about her history as the Everywhereist. Now, I've known Geraldine for a while. We've met in person maybe once or twice, hung out together in Germany, and even beyond that, I've been reading her blog Everywhereist all the time for several years. And I first got introduced to her through her husband, Rand Fishkin, who was the first interview that we had here on the Jumpstart podcast. So this is a complete circle. We're closing the loop from husband to wife at the beginning and the end of this podcast as far as interviews go. And so, like I said, I've been reading Geraldine's blog for a long time, and I really loved her book All Over the Place as well. I bought 5 copies. And I've actually been just leaving them at random Airbnbs all around the world so people can hear the stories of Geraldine's travels and really her love story, because that's what it is. It's a love story between her and Rand. Anyways, I'm not going to bury the lead on that book. You should absolutely read it. And you should listen along to my podcast with Geraldine, because not only do we talk about the process of becoming a writer, how to get noticed, how to build an audience, what type of content you should write about. But not just that, but it's more about telling stories. Why these stories are so important to everything we do, and how stories, even if they're not the stories that you want to tell or you don't feel equipped to tell, can be some of the most meaningful content that you produce. And so Geraldine's stories about Steve, her brain tumor, are some of the most popular pieces of content that she's written, and it wasn't easy for her. But she talks about her process, if you want to call it that, her process for deciding whether or not she should write about it, and really the therapeutic process that writing has for her and the doors that it's opened. So if you're somebody who is interested in writing, or at least somebody who appreciates good writing and wants to know inside scoop of how writing works, how people come up with the ideas they come up with, then you're going to want to listen to this episode with Geraldine DeRuiter. This has been one of my favorite interviews in the Jumpstart podcast, and you're going to learn why I'm so excited about it and why I enjoyed it so much as you listen along. So the episode's available to you now on iTunes. I'd recommend that you check it out and download it or play it on SoundCloud, whatever works for you, to get into my interview with Geraldine DeRuiter.